Hey, what's going on, guys? Kru Brad here, Combat Arts. Today, I'm just going to go over briefly on how to hold Thai pads. Whether you're doing Thai pads with your partner, you're in groups, one thing I want to maintain with this is that you guys are safe and you know how to hold these without getting yourself into trouble or having any accidents happen. All right, so first things first with these pads is we are going to have clasps on the inside. We got to make sure that people's feet are not kicking us by accident and causing injuries. Thai pad goes on as follows. Grab the bar, tighten the straps up to your liking. If we go too tight with these, they're gonna be hard to maneuver around. So I like to keep mine fairly loose so I at least have some play and movement inside. When we're holding these pads, we wanna maintain a nice stance and not too wide with the pads. We wanna keep them nice and tight to simulate an actual fight experience. We also wanna maintain to keep them in the front and not out on the sides. I don't want the arms and shoulders to bend back too much because therefore you're gonna end up with injuries and you're gonna end up having to go get physiotherapy and stuff like that. Now, when we're holding these pads, I like to keep these pads nice and tight to my body. I like elbows tucked into my rib cage. I like to touch the two tips of the pads together like this and keep them nice and tight so I can move back and forth, simulating where that punch or that kick is going. Okay, so here we are with Ishan, and we are going to just work some light punching drills. Want to maintain that my hands are staying nice and tight. Every time that somebody gives me a shot with hands or legs or knees, I want to put a little bit of pressure back, therefore that the pads are not hitting me and coming back and hitting me in the face. Okay, so just nice and easy with my partner here. I throw a jab and he hits. I give that push a little bit back so he's not knocking my arms back. Jab cross. Again, you'll notice that I'm keeping the pads nice and tight to simulate the head. 1, 2. Jab, cross, hook. Jab, cross, hook, cross. Jab there. Like so. One thing you're gonna find a lot of people making mistakes on when they start holding these pads is hooks and uppercuts. A lot of people will just hold the pads here and expect that the partner knows that uppercuts are coming here, or they'll even hold for a hook, which is not right. We wanna simulate what's gonna happen in a fight. So for hooks, we're gonna make sure that the glove is turned sideways so they have a contact point facing them and not just breezing past the pad. So with these hooks, you'll notice that I turn the pad inwards, therefore I can take the impact of the hook. If I just hold here and he hooks, he's just gonna go right past the pad or he's gonna knock the pad out of my hand, okay? So jab here, cross here, turn the pad in for that hook, just like so. Jab, cross, hook, pop, pop, good. Turn that in. You'll see that I turn this in here for him to make that impact. Good, okay. From there, we're gonna work on the rear uppercut. We're gonna hold the pad roughly chin level of what your partner is, and we're gonna have it nice and high here, and he's gonna simulate popping that head up with that uppercut. He wants to rotate that body and go in for that uppercut. Good, Again, putting as much feedback down as possible. I do not want him hitting this pad and popping it up in the air, okay? Jab here, uppercut, good. Jab again, uppercut, good. Jab, cross hook, rear uppercut. Exactly like that. All right, after we work the punches, we're gonna get to some kicks. So the biggest thing about kicks is there's gonna be power coming behind these. We wanna maintain that you're actually hitting the pads, but as well that we're making contact with the leg as we do so and pushing down with the power. Again, I showed you here, I like the two tips together. I like my arms tucked to my body because I have way more control and I can move easier around when we're doing multiple kicks from different sides. So as from here, I'm gonna get Ishan to throw a kick into the body, like so. Again, I put that pressure back. That way he's not knocking my hands back into my face. Kick again, good. And then I like to move around, obviously. Fights don't stay in one position, so when I'm doing this pad work, I like to move around. Kick there, good. Work the other side, same thing. Nice tight grip on these pads, elbows nice and tight, good. From there, throw some punches. Jab, rear kick, jab cross, kick there, cross across, kick there, like so. Okay guys, teeps. So for teeps, we're gonna hold these pads a little bit different than we usually do. We're gonna have one pad face down. I'm gonna stack the other pad on top of it, facing the partner, like so, okay? Here, here, and our partner's gonna teep in the middle of that pad trying to push us back. So get with the partner that you're given, Pad up, push, okay? He's gonna try to stab me in the middle with his toes and push me back like so. Goes rear teep, like so. Okay, so next I'm gonna show you how to hold pads for the knees. For safety reasons, to not get yourself hurt or your partner, we're gonna cross the pads, okay? You're gonna notice that way, whatever you're more comfortable with, depending on the body and if you have any injuries or not. So partner Ishan is gonna get ready to throw a rear knee, and I'm gonna cross the pads, and I'm gonna make sure there's pressure put down on the pads so that he doesn't knock me and drive me off my feet. Jab, knee, jab, cross, knee. If I don't put this pressure back, he's gonna knee me and I'm gonna go flying. We don't want that. We wanna be controlled with these pads. No injuries. Good. All right, guys, so we're gonna just show some pad holding for elbows now, and this is one of the ones that you wanna be very cautious with. Elbows are dangerous, they're lethal, they will cut you open, they will knock you unconscious, and we need to maintain that when we're hitting these pads that we're not actually hitting your partner who's holding the pads. So that being said, we need to maintain a safe distance from the partner, but also a distance where we're simulating what's actually gonna happen in a fight. So with Ishan, I'm just gonna get him to throw the rear elbow. Obviously, I'm gonna make sure both of his hands are up. I'm gonna make sure that my face is not gonna come in contact with my pad here, because if he elbows there, I'm gonna cut my nose, or my nose is gonna wrap around the back of my head. We do not want injuries, okay? So I'm gonna get in front of Ishan here. I'm gonna hold up this pad here for a rear elbow. I'm also gonna slightly turn it in so he doesn't brush past and completely go through, okay? Elbow here, good. Elbow there, very good. Again, nice. Elbow there. As you notice, I keep my head away from the pads so I'm not getting hit. All right, guys, so a little bit of something more advanced for pad holding. And this is only to do if you're comfortable with the people you're training with. I don't advise you to do this with just random beginners because there's gonna be injuries happening. So yes, we can hold the pads here for a kick, but what if I wanna simulate a low kick, okay? So low kick, I'm gonna use my lead pad here on my lead arm. I'm gonna lower it down to give you approximately the area of my quad. From there, I'm gonna make sure I have a slightly bent elbow, so that way when he kicks here, if he kicks hard, I'm not gonna hyperextend my elbow and end up causing myself an injury. Like so, I'm gonna show you here, pads nice and low, partner's gonna kick and move around. I get him to throw a jab, simulating a combo and a kick. Again, elbow should not be straight. Elbow needs a slight bend. Therefore, if they kick the elbow, that's gonna hurt them more than it's gonna hurt you. Jab there, low. Good. Jab, cross hook, low kick. Jab, cross hook, rear. Cross there, low kick. Cross hook, cross. Good. Jab there, uppercut. Cross hook, low. Cross hook. Good. Move around, hands up. Jab, cross. Cross hook, kick. Teep. Cross there, uppercut, cross, kick. Good.